Paris, authorities at the GRA make a symbolic move, joining Operation Clean the Nation in a bid to encourage more people to rid the streets of waste. 21 communities in the Upper River region vowed never to engage in harmful traditional practices that hinder the progress of the girl child. Latin American nations on face over United States threats not to grant NSA whistleblower and fugitive Edward Snowden political asylum in Caracas. And Egypt on the edge as the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces purges the remnants of former President Mohamed Morsi's loyalists out of the system. These and other stories coming at this hour. My name is Famara Fofana. We thank you for joining us. In the ongoing second meeting of the National Assembly in the 2013 legislative year, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs has tabled loans and grants financed by the Islamic and African Development Banks respectively. As Samuel Barr reports, the legislative session also witnessed the amendment and ratification of the Financial Reporting Bill tabled by Minister Abdul Koli.
A multi-million-dollar loan and grant bill financed by the Islamic Development Bank and the African Development Bank. The financial scheme, totaling more than $35 million, is earmarked for projects including the proposed construction of the Sukuta Jambanjeli Road and the enhancement of the country's groundnut sector. Finance and Economic Affairs Minister Abdul Koli tabled the financial package before lawmakers for ratification. Parliamentarians unanimously acknowledged the importance of the financial tie-up, with National Assembly Speaker Abdoulaye Bojang emphasizing the opportunities it will create in the rehabilitation of the country's groundnut sector. Addressing a concern that has incessantly challenged farmers, legislators are seeking to raise the Gambia's main crop from the depression of commercial ineptitude. The construction of the Sukuta Jambanjeli Road is expected to yield considerable socio-economic benefits, connecting what is designed to be a viable network of roads linking the inner city and outer reaches. The National Assembly member for Kombo South said the scheme is doubly in line with the country's development, given that such roads help to bolster the commercial feasibility of towns and settlements. Legislators further ratified the Financial Reporting Bill, whose list of purposes include the creation of the Gambia Institute of Chartered Accountants, as well as strengthening financial reporting and auditing practices in the work of accounting and auditing. Improved infrastructure, including the construction of roads such as the Sukuta Jambanjeli Road, represent significant advances being made by government. Increased funding at this critical instance is of great essence, and more than anything, lawmakers therefore understand the need for timely and appropriate resources to effectively complete the massive endeavors shaping the country's development. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
In yet another symbolic move meant to improve their well-being, the last remaining traditional Serahule strongholds in the Upper River region of the country have vowed never to engage in harmful traditional practices against girl children. This was contained in an open declaration by the people of Gunjur, Koto and Garawal during a recent program witnessed by donors and partners. As we hear in this report by Ibrahim Balde, more communities who had for many years been observing centuries-old practices have started to give up entirely.
Agrarian society was amply demonstrated throughout as huge swathes of land lie waiting to be tilled in the Upper River region. The rainy season has just begun, and it would be an understatement to say farmers are busy. If anything, this is the time to work. After a few weeks of intermittent rains, the soil is now wet for the planting season. This is the community tucked alongside the periphery of the River Gambia, which takes its source from the Fouta-Djallon Highlands in Guinea. Fatoto is a border village. It is also home to a sprawling Sarahule community whose major preoccupation is farming and engaging in commercial business transactions. The timing of the visit anchored on centuries-old traditional practices, mildly put. Harmful traditional practices or female genital mutilation have been going on here unheeded. It is against this backdrop that a sub-regional NGO, commonly known as TOSTAN, decided to embark on a multi-sectoral and multidisciplinary approach with a view to putting an end to what has generally been described as a harmful practice against the girl child.
It will also give other communities the opportunity to look at you as role models, communities that are still practicing female genital mutilation and also early marriage, so that you can be an example, basically, to these communities, so they would also one day declare that they want to abandon such harmful traditional practices and protect their girl children.
An army of reporters recently accompanied development partners such as UNICEF and officials from the Department of Information Services to assess the successes registered and find out how 21 traditional communities decided to abandon a practice that had brought untold suffering to those who underwent it.
You are committed, no place is far. You know, once it's part of your area, it's part of your jurisdiction, it's part of your country, and you are committed, no place should be far. You know, you just have to have the commitment that, you know, I must reach these people, and then you sacrifice. Of course, you have to sacrifice, and you have to, you know, take up the challenge. And then that is what we have done. We have taken up the challenge in terms of time and funds to reach these very people, because we feel they are part of, you know, us, and we should reach them wherever they are.
The symbolic and triumphant celebrations led by the women from the elite villages in the Upper River region was perhaps a manifestation of the support and understanding that development partners nurtured over the years. In Gunjur Koto, the whole community descended on the main entrance of the village to welcome the visitors from Kombo. It's an indigenous settlement founded several years back, according to Alcalo Mohamed Sako. For far too long, Saho said his people, referring to the Salahurals, were adamant about the effects of the centuries-old practices that had divided families and created a rift between parents and their girl children. In most Gambian communities, breaking these old customs and traditions is a tough nut to crack.
In the Gambia, something has been done in Senegal, because Tostan is born in Senegal. Something has been done in Senegal for the quotas in Senegal. So in the Gambia, we are also thinking about put something in place for these quotas, because, as you say, it's a practice that has been done for centuries. So abandoning it in a short of time of 3 years, it would not be easy for the quotas to abandon it.
The high point of the spectacular celebrations, punctuated by a colorful display of marriage rituals, reminded the audience this was indeed a Sarahule community. The declaration from these girl children was meant to gag others to stop early or forced marriages, and female genital mutilation meted out to the girl child should have no place in our evolving culture.
Our adopted village came together at Garawal solemnly with full knowledge, engaged in abandoning the practice of female genital cutting and child early and forced marriage in our communities.
Ibrahim Balde, Grts.
The Gambia Revenue Authority today joined the rest of the country in observing the monthly Operation Clean the Nation. Personnel of the institution converged at the headquarters in Banjul to clean the premises of the revenue collector. Our Abdullah Baji was there and he prepared this report.
General street cleanliness frequently is the main concern of states, local authorities, institutions and residents. This is easy to see as it has a visible impact on everyone's environment. A lot of infections and health complications could be attributed to the environment, as it could serve as a breeding ground for infection carriers. The Gambia Revenue Authority has joined the rest of the country in the monthly nation's cleansing exercise. It is always important for institutions in the country to partake in cleansing exercises, which is a national duty upon the citizenry to curb environmental-related infections.
Everyone knows that this noble desire is to make this nation clean and clear from malaria diseases, which is a killer disease on our children. We at GRA has been doing it, but today is a marathon one. You look around the building, you look around the compound, everybody is involved. About a staff of 700 plus people, almost half of us are here today, just to emulate what he is calling on people to follow him. We are very proud to be here, and I am also proud as the Commissioner General to see all my staff members running in support of this noble cause.
The Gambia Revenue Authority wants to make it crystal clear that it is not only here for revenue collection,